Welcome back to Marvel Monday. I am Mike.
I am.
I'm going to start saying it in the Doctor Doom voice. I am Doom.
Which, by the way, that continues the theme of Marvel, just their characters announcing themselves by saying "I am."
Yeah, that's true.
It's just another one to add to the list. And the second RDJ character, which is
allegedly, we can get into that.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Sure.
So,
man, what a twist that would be. Not to spoil it, but could you imagine if they said RDJ was Doom and then
that was one of the theories.
Back as Iron Man.
Yeah, that was one of the theories that I heard early on, was that like he wasn't the real. Well, you've heard the one that they said he's not the real Doctor Doom. He's a Doom bot, and they're gonna show who the real Doctor Doom is. I think that would be an awfully big, like, kind of waste of RDJ, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So, but
that would be a big surprise, though, if they, not the Doombot thing, but if they were saying he was Doom this entire time. They hide his face and everything, and then the actual Doom is a different actor, but then
that would be wild. Could you imagine? That would be wild.
Tony Stark variant arrives, and that's the actual role he's
playing.
Right.
Right. He's actually who is behind. He's the one who's behind Cap when Thor says that's impossible.
Yeah.
Because that would be impossible,
Yeah.
But so a lot of Marvel, a lot of stuff in general came out of D23 this weekend, but a lot of Marvel stuff came out. What do you want to start with? I guess I think one of the biggest things that came out was they announced at least some of the cast of the new X-Men, the new generation now coming up.
Yeah. What's his name? Christopher Abbott. That was for Professor X.
Professor Charles Xavier, yep.
It's always tough to envision an actor playing Professor X when they're not bald.
Yeah. Also, when they're not Patrick Stewart, because but
James McAvoy, it was still tough to picture him when he's not bald. Yeah.
Although he did play the role not bald, in the earlier movies. I'm always trying to figure out, like, those two different sets of movies, like, those were different universes, right? Those weren't like, it wasn't just like the earlier generation of those same characters, and then the later generation was, right?
I think that it was, but it would be that in the future MCU we explain as the universes diverging from each other.
Right.
That's the branch timeline now, because they're supposed to all die, but then Wolverine goes back.
Right.
Prevents it, and then that's a branch timeline, I guess. So it is them when they were younger, but I guess the events beyond Days of Future Past would be a branch timeline.
Right. But I mean, in the original timeline, in the Patrick Stewart era X-Men movies, right? Jean Grey, like, basically, Wolverine kills her, I think, doesn't he, in those movies? And she kills Scott? She kills Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what happens in those? Unless I'm totally misremembering those.
It's been forever since I watched those.
Right, but in the other generation of those, the Jean Grey character becomes Dark Phoenix, and sort of the same storyline, slightly different, but sort of the same storyline, except in that one she kills Mystique, and I think she dies in the end, right?
Yes.
So those have to be two different, like, timelines then.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. They would say, like, it's a branch timeline from...
Right. So they're just branches off of the same timeline, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So...
But that does make me wonder how are all those characters coming back now in Doomsday?
Right. Are those characters going to be in Doomsday, or are they coming back after Doomsday? I think maybe they're all coming back after Doomsday.
from a separate universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so the full confirmed cast: Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. That's no spoiler there, unless you haven't seen Spider-Man: Brand New Day yet. No spoiler there. Uh, Kit Connor as Scott Summer, Cyclops. So now we have another, Cyclops. Uh, Indy Navarrete as Rogue. Maya Boyd as Storm. Christopher Abbott as Professor Charles Xavier. Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, and Adam Driver in a surprise villain as Nathaniel Milbury, Mr. Sinister. So that you talked about that last time, that was
Yeah.
the rumor there. So
I like that when he was announcing his role, he kind of was like joking about the rumors of him playing Magneto.
Yeah, yeah. But it makes me wonder, like in that movie, I mean, they're gonna have Magneto, right? There, you can't, right? You can't have that without Magneto.
And maybe they just didn't announce it yet.
Right.
They either didn't announce it, or are we gonna get X-Men, where it's like maybe the very early, but like Professor X and Magneto were always with each other, right?
Right. Yeah, that's it. They've like in those stories. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And then the other one that they haven't announced is the Wolverine, who will be the Wolverine in this version of the X-Men, which, I mean, you and I talked about this earlier, but that character is very difficult because even in those other movies, you had two different sets of people playing all the other X-Men and only one person who played the Wolverine in any of those movies.
Yeah.
And, he's so iconic, like in that role,
and
that
the funny thing
it's
is,
really
like,
hard to imagine someone else.
He doesn't even fit like comic Wolverine because of how tall Hugh Jackman is, and yet you can't picture like anybody else in the role right now.
Yeah. So
they're gonna have to wait on that. But then it sucks because the longer you wait on that, like how do you explain Wolverine's supposed to have been like alive since what, like the Civil War? I think they go as far back with him living. And like
But you and I also talked before about Magneto and how that character was like a Holocaust, survivor. Yeah. So, I mean, unless you try to make it that, well, he hasn't aged, or it's like a Captain America situation where he was frozen for 70 years or something like that.
Yeah.
That's something that they kind of have to explain. I don't know. I mean, I would think they would have to bring that character in like relatively early, but I just don't know. So yeah, that's the X-Men though. That's who's going to be in the X-Men movie, which comes out after Secret Wars. So
yeah, he said May.
We've got a little while.
I think it's May 2028.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you'll see any of them pop up in Secret Wars then.
Yeah, I mean, the most likely one that I could see showing up would be Jean Grey.
Yeah, I think they already confirmed she'll be in Secret Wars. But do you think that any of the like Professor X show up? Like,
it's possible
if he's the one, like they're going to his school,
right?
Like, does he show up, or is it just after the events of Secret Wars? He opens a school to kind of like take care of the mutants. Yeah, I mean, protect them.
I think it's possible that he shows up because they did make the announcements now for these characters, so I think it's possible that any of them show up in Secret Wars, because otherwise, like, why would you make that announcement like this early when that movie's like 2 years off or almost 2 years off?
Yeah, because you wouldn't really care about like casting leaks. Like, I don't think that would be
like who really.
It's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, like the Jean Grey thing in Brand New Day was different because we didn't even know that character was going to be in it, let alone it was. So that's why it was speculation of who's she playing, even though like everybody knew.
Yeah.
So Yeah, but the other funny thing was that clip from D23 of Hugh Jackman,
Hmm.
um, you know,
That
and that
has
whole
to that
presentation
has to
he made.
confirm that the two of them are in it, right?
Yeah, I think
Which
everything I've read has pretty much said that.
which
Yeah,
is heartbreaking for the Tobey Maguire like character and universe, because
right.
if they're in it, then that means that
That
supposed like
leak.
leak is
Yeah.
true.
Do
But
we
I
do
just
we want to
I
talk about that leak at all? I mean, there
do
was
you well now there's
what?
just silence. I was
Yeah, I
gonna
know.
say I was gonna say, do you think that they would really like be able to, because this is now really the second time Ryan Reynolds is showing up to a Marvel event
Right.
because of him at San Diego Comic Con and then now
Right.
this. And
Right.
like, then do you get Hugh Jackman? Like, not only do you get him, but like, does he give his time to Marvel still if he's not in a movie?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
exactly it.
like
That's exact.
just
I
for
don't
a gag, you
yeah,
know, for a
I don't
movie he
think so.
wouldn't be in.
I don't think so. I think this will be the last one. Well, unless he's in Secret Wars. Um,
Mm,
but I think these will be like the last ones that you'll see him in that role
yeah,
because they are doing kind of a, a reboot on the whole franchise. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know how deep you want to get. Did I send you the thing that was like a full leaked storyline
I
for
don't know if you sent me
Doomsday?
in, but I saw it.
Yeah.
So
And
let's, before we talk
it
about it, let's get
sounds
in. Hold on.
go ahead. Okay.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler
Yes.
warning.
Yeah.
Potential.
Yeah. It's potential, right? Because we don't know if it's true, but um, and I wasn't going to go into it in too much detail because I don't remember all the details of it. But if
Hmm.
if it sounds very plausible as the story,
When you
as
line
the
it
way
up
the story plays out.
with the trailers too, I think that
Yeah.
it's like the more that you start to see in the trailers, the more it starts to seem believable.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that
So.
shot in the release that they just put out, the second trailer now from D23,
Mm-hmm.
that they show that like what looks like a decimated New York,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying that that's potentially Tobey Maguire's New York.
Right. Right. And that's where Mr. Fantastic says, "Victor, did you do this? Did you do this?" You know what's
Mm,
funny about that trailer though? I saw, and this was kind of the same with some of the previous trailers for Doomsday. I saw so many um, fake AI versions of that trailer that
mm-hmm,
were shot for shot the same trailer. It's just the scenes were done by AI, and you could tell they were done by AI. But it
mm-hmm.
was so it must have been people who saw it at San Diego Comic Con, and then were just like, hey, I'm gonna go make an AI version of it, and this is what I
Yeah,
remember of it,
yeah,
because it was like shot for shot looked like the same, exact like trailer.
yeah. So what we were talking about earlier, now that we're on to the trailer, what we were talking about earlier about the RDJ not playing Doom. There's this shot in the two trailers now. If you compare them, where one of them you see Doom with blue eyes, and
Right,
one of them is Doom with just RDJ's eyes.
right,
But that's where people are saying like, who's that under the mask that has blue eyes? Because that's not Robert Downey Jr.
right, right.
And some people were saying like, oh, it's just a reflection. It's not actually his eyes. It's just like the light reflecting off of it, which it could be.
Right.
But
Yeah, or it could be Marvel doing what Marvel does and putting something out there just to mess with people.
yeah.
Um, there was another thing I saw though, sort of related to that, that was showing the witches, the
Hmm.
Doom witches, and one of them they're saying
Oh yeah.
is Doctor Strange because the mask that he wears has like the third eye in the forehead,
Yeah.
um, and that's been one of the like kind of you know ideas or theories that's been out there for a while, is that he was going to be and you think again at the end of Multiverse of Madness in the end credit scene where he gets taken off by that Clea, and I
Hmm.
believe her color was purple, right? She was in purple
Hmm.
when she sliced through the
Yeah.
reality. It was with purple, and one of them is purple. So the speculation there is that she's the purple one also,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
would kind of makes sense. Um, and but it's
I just don't
interesting.
know why would you wear the mask though if you're like Doctor Strange, Clea, they're
Yeah,
saying like Sylvie could be the green one,
right,
Wanda could be the red one or the orange one, I guess.
right.
Like, why would they wear the
Sylvie
masks though?
Sylvie would seem odd though because it sounded like Loki's kind of going to be at odds with Doom throughout this whole thing, right? I mean,
Yeah, but remember, Sylvie was always for um like she didn't really want Loki taking over the TVA, right? I guess
well,
she kind of
y-
flipped on that
she yeah,
towards the end.
she wanted she wanted the multiverse to be free. She didn't want it to be the prune timelines and all that because
Hmm.
that's why she was, stuck at the TVA was that,
Oh, right,
you
and I
know,
guess like Doom is kind of pruning
yeah,
by destroying the world. So
he's much more along the He Who Remains mindset of, one sacred timeline.
yeah,
Um, but in reality, the sacred timeline was not his. So,
right.
um, but there was something else related to that. I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, but that leak that came out that was supposedly the full plot. I'm always a little curious about how those things happen because um, there were some that I had heard before Brand New Day that were pretty close to the actual movie.
Hmm.
Um, and I just wonder if that is what came out, like how does that get leaked? How does that
I always wonder
ever
that.
get
Like,
leaked?
what are these leakers' sources
Right.
that are able to get that much detail from it? Because I almost think
Yeah.
you have to be a like writer on the
Right.
film, you
Right.
know,
Right.
like to
Right.
have
And
that much detail.
would there be any point in purposefully leaking the storyline to get more, like, more hype around it, do you think? I mean, the full storyline maybe not, but you know, I feel like
I don't
when
think
I
so.
know the full
Only
storyline, it doesn't ruin the movie for me.
yeah, but I don't. If you wanted to get more hype about it, I feel like you would. Well, okay, maybe the people that are more in touch
Hmm.
to get them a little bit more excited, because I feel like general audience isn't looking out that type of like spoiler style, like to find the leaks even.
Right.
That you would get more hype by like instead of saying Deadpool and Wolverine end up on Tobey Maguire's world and are fighting him, you would
Right.
just announce that, hey, Tobey Maguire's back as Spider-Man along with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
And
Right.
that would get the general audience hyped. So maybe you want to keep it a secret for the general audience while getting the people that are really wanting, like in the know, giving them
Right.
that information. So maybe that would be the purpose of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Um,
That
yeah,
would be the
that
only
that
reason
does
I
make
think Marvel
sense.
would want to release it. People were saying that back in the day of No Way Home that like, well, Sony has to be behind the
The
like
leaks.
leaks of three Spider-Men showing up because
Right.
like
Well, was it that they were behind it as in they actually leaked it, or they were behind it as in they did a terrible job in keeping it
well
quiet?
no that they leaked it, that they wanted people who were like real
Right.
like super fans to know like don't miss this one because
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, true. That's true. Yeah, and then one of the other big things I think that came out was and this one actually makes me more excited about Vision Quest
Hmm.
than I think I was before because I'd heard some things about that, like what the plot line kind of was. It's Vision, but it happens mostly inside of his head. But it looks like so from the trailer, it starts out, and I think it's in like a shop. In I think they were in Edinburgh. He and Wanda were in Edinburgh in the beginning of Infinity War, and
Hmm.
I think it looks like he's there, and he's showing in his human form,
Mhm.
and maybe he's working at a shop there because the woman says something about you used to come in here all the time with that red head or something like that. And he moves something on the table and there's a W plus V and a heart
Mhm.
on carved into the table. So I'm like that leads me to believe that that's kind of, maybe he's trying to live as a human,
Mhm.
but he's when he leaves there, I guess he's just living in his own head, living is inside of Vision's mind.
Mhm.
And I think one of the most interesting things to me was that the way that the Ultron character is being brought into it, you know,
Mhm.
because it's really interesting. Like when it starts out and he tells him, what does he say? Human
Yeah, human form
avatars
only, or
only. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
human
yeah, human
avatars
avatar
only.
only.
And it's James Spader, with a beard and all that. And the
Mhm.
way that they seem to anyway be portraying the Ultron character in this, because I think the idea is all of the Tony Stark AIs are kind of living somewhere inside of Vision's head,
Mhm.
and he's trying to like figure out who he is, because there's even a line where he says, "I used to be an Avenger, but I'm not a hero anymore," something like that. So
Mhm.
I think it's going to be really good. I think
I like
it's and
the Ultron character they're almost making, I think, like a father figure to Vision,
yeah,
with like some
yeah,
of the dialogue and like how he's interacting with him and everything.
yeah, yeah.
Which is like makes sense, I guess, because like Ultron did precede Vision literally.
Right,
So,
literally, yeah, yeah. And and I wonder, is it going to be that like basically, Ultron's source code
mhm.
lived somewhere inside of Vision, and so
Mhm.
that's why it's still
I
there,
mean, doesn't
to
doesn't Banner
speak to
say
him.
that at the one point in,
Yeah,
is it Infinity War, where he's like, Vision's a
yeah,
complex
yeah.
like set of Tony, me, Ultron,
Ultron,
the
yeah, but
Mind Stone.
Jarvis, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and that's also interesting too, because the in his mind, the avatar that's Jarvis isn't Paul Bettany, who actually voiced Jarvis. It's the actor who played
Yeah.
Jarvis in the yeah,
Is it Agent Carter?
Agent Carter. Yeah, in the Agent Carter series, and also in Endgame. He was
Hmm.
in that too as that character. So I think that's kind of interesting, because it's like, how does that fit in there? Like,
Yeah. Jarvis was a real person and he looked
yeah,
like that. So like,
yeah. I get that, but then
yeah.
and it's also supposed to feature the other ones, like I don't know, Friday, and I
Hmm.
wonder if Edith will also be there. I don't know for sure about that, but they they did say that those actors were in the series. and
Hmm.
then um and then I guess his it's not the same, right, of their sons that was in Agatha All Along, right? It's not the same. I forget which one of their
Wasn't
twins
it?
was in Agatha All Along.
I think Tommy was in Agatha.
Yeah, I think it's the other one that they show in
Billy.
this. Billy.
Billy.
Yeah, Billy. That's right. Yeah, which is interesting because the whole thing in Agatha All Along, like Tommy became a human basically,
Hmm.
even though he was just, because when the whole thing collapsed, the whole fake reality that Wanda had built there collapsed. This kid happened to get into a car accident and I guess was killed, and Tommy's whatever you would say, his soul got transferred into this
Yeah.
this dead kid. And I'm wondering, like, where did Billy go then? Like, how did and at the end of Agatha All Along, Tommy was supposed to be going to look for Billy. So
Yeah.
um yeah,
I mean, I
even that.
wonder if that's what the explanation would be, though, is it's just like, yeah, just like Tommy, Billy's soul went out and found somebody, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, well, and it's so weird because if you think of like the way the multiverse stuff played out in like Multiverse of Madness, like those kids existed in, all the other, universes, and in
Mm-hmm.
this one they didn't. So that's kind of, odd too, that it's the same two kids.
Yeah.
Um, and even that whole thing where he's sitting there next to Ultron, next to James Spader character, because it's not really Ultron. And they're watching. It's like they're watching a video of scenes from WandaVision,
Mm.
and Vision says something to the effect of, but that family wasn't real or something like that. And James Spader goes to him, are you sure about that, or something like that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be good. I think it's actually, I'm more excited about the series after seeing that trailer than I was before. Because before I was like, I wasn't wrapping my brain around it, and now I'm like, yeah, this might actually be good.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that that series means that Vision will end up showing up in Doomsday
I think
or Secret Wars?
I think it depends on how that series ends. I would say, like,
Yeah.
allegedly, and this could be spoilery, but I don't know this for a fact, so this is called a guess. Um, Allegedly, the series ends with him regaining his full. He's no longer White Vision. He's just back to being Vision. He regains all his memories and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in that scenario, I don't know how like he doesn't show up in
Yeah.
in Doomsday, at least, because Doomsday, the time frame of it happening after Vision Quest is like so short that I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Depending on how the series ends, I don't know how he doesn't show up there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and
who
it'd be
knows?
weird if you have full Vision there. And it's kind of like even with the Hulk, right? That like it's like Hulk ended up at a mental hospital.
Yeah, yeah,
Like if Vision is back, you're telling me the stuff that's going to be happening in Doomsday is going to be happening, and they're just going to be like,
yeah.
eh,
Well, one
doesn't
thing
doesn't seem
that
like it's worth my time, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's like that. There was something that even talked about like Red Hulk, like this
Mm.
Doomsday stuff's going on. No, we're just gonna leave him on the raft. We're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
he
No, no, no,
he
no.
couldn't be of any help.
Yeah.
Um.
Too much of a loose
Uh.
cannon for us to release him.
Yeah. But one of the other things that they were showing like some set, it wasn't set designs, but it was like costume design stuff in that from D23 related to Vision Quest. And one of the
Mm.
things that they showed was Wanda's outfit, which has a
Mm.
lot of people speculating that, and that was again one of the things that I had heard, one of the theories I had heard was that Wanda is going to show up in Vision Quest, um,
I wonder
which
if it
would
would be
confirm
more of
that
like a
she's back.
flashback or something now.
Well, it's also possible. Yeah. I mean, well, clearly she's in it because, you saw the scenes where he's watching the
Yeah.
stuff that happened during WandaVision. So, yeah, she's definitely in it from that aspect, and maybe that's all that was.
Hmm.
It just it seems odd that you would feature that costume as like part of the thing for this series if the only place she's being featured is in
Is
flashbacks,
clips that, yeah, clips
Yeah.
from a different show.
Yeah. The one thing I had heard, potential spoiler here, was that basically when Billy finally, catches up with Vision, he tells him that Wanda's still alive, that she's not dead, or he knows where she is, and he has to help him bring her back, or something to that
Yeah,
effect.
but like, how would he
Um,
know? How would he know that?
yeah. My thing is, what if Wanda shows up as one of those witches who's working for Doctor Doom?
Hmm.
Like, is that a possibility? Like,
Hmm.
Doctor Doom said to her, "Oh, well, I when I build this new world, I'll make sure that you have, Billy and Tommy." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because he's bringing everything together from all the other parts of the multiverse, the other universes. So, maybe she's one of them. Is there one of them that's like, there is one of them that's like the red color,
Yeah.
like,
The orange
so,
reddish color.
yeah, yeah. So, I think that might be a possibility. And
I
if
like
she shows up, well, I don't know. Yeah.
I like the idea that each of the witches was like, yes, I'll be your sidekick, Doom,
Hmm.
but I want to make sure that I have my correct color.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
Like
But I got
Clea's
to.
doing it, but she's
Yeah.
like, I want to be Purple though. Let's make sure that
Yeah,
I can get purple.
yeah, yeah. I call purple. Yeah.
Yeah,
The weird thing about Doctor Strange is, he's just in. If he is the one, he's just in like gray,
yeah,
which isn't really like, what happened to his cloak,
yeah,
his
yeah,
cape. Like, what happened to that?
yeah,
Wasn't that like part of his persona?
yeah.
So, did I miss
See, but
anything? Is
but
there?
he said specifically like I need the hole for my third eye.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Like
and
if
it's
you
not
want me
even a
to,
hole. It's not even a hole, like, because there's eye holes, and that's more
yeah,
just like an insignia. So I don't know.
yeah. He's like if you want me
He's
wearing this
just,
mask all the time, you're gonna have to give a spot for the third eye to
yeah,
pop out.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anything else? I don't know. I
Um,
think that's everything I saw from it, unless I missed some.
the only thing I can think of is the ride at Disneyland.
Oh, right. That's right.
Because they said that they were filming for that ride at the same time that they were filming. I can't remember if it was Doomsday or if it was for Secret Wars.
Hmm.
They said they were that's when they like filmed those,
Hmm.
and the scenes that RDJ was filming as Tony Stark, like he's back looking like Tony Stark, like
Right.
hair, goatee, everything. That could have
Right.
been makeup, I guess. But like if you're filming that at the same time that you're filming everything else, like I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like that hints that he's definitely coming back as a Tony Stark variant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they said that the people that are appearing in the Avengers ride, one of them is the Miss Marvel character.
Hmm.
So if you're filming that at the same time that you're filming Doomsday and Secret Wars, like that probably means
Right.
she's going to be in at least one of those.
Right. Right.
And I felt like you can kind of look at the characters and see like who Marvel's prioritizing or who they're going to recast in future
Right.
films after the reboot, because you're not going to put all this money into a new ride and then like they have Anthony Mackie as Captain America on the ride,
Hmm.
right? So like why would you film Anthony Mackie as Captain America to then recast Captain America in like two
Right.
years and then your
Right.
ride's outdated? I don't think that they
Right.
put the money into that.
Yeah, that would
Um,
make no sense.
so based off that, like Anthony Mackie, Captain America, they had Chris Hemsworth still as Thor. They had obviously RDJ as Tony Stark. So that like I don't think that even if they do a full reboot or a partial reboot, whatever you would call it of the MCU,
Hmm.
I don't think you're going to see an Iron Man soon. It's like the
Right.
Hugh Jackman thing with Wolverine, you know?
Right. Right.
Like there's certain characters that you'll have to wait years before you can think about recasting them.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I also think it's interesting, like, you know, going back to, not to switch the topic back to something else, but I'm just thinking back to what we talked about the Doomsday trailer, the newer one, and it
Hmm.
is funny how they're trying to hide the fact that like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is in it, because they haven't really shown him. They haven't, announced that he's one of them. But
Yeah,
like everything you read, every like leak and spoiler in that you read says that he's going to be in it.
yeah,
Again, I going back to that full plot line thing that we both saw, he's in it. If that plot line is true, in a pretty major way. So
yeah. Well, especially like that one says that it opens on him,
right,
you
exactly.
know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but they say that again, like spoiler, you're kind of in too deep for it now.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
they said that him and Wolverine die in that scene.
Right. But
But
do
if
they?
it,
But not really,
yeah,
because they come
yeah,
back in a end credit scene or something.
yeah, yeah. And that'd
They
be a
both
weird way to
stay in his
New York.
universe,
Yeah,
yeah, which gets destroyed by the X-Men universe.
yeah,
And yeah, but apparently, I guess what Hugh Jackman's Wolverine stays there to keep Toby there, and
yeah.
then they come back later.
If that's true, though, it's kind of funny. Like, so in that universe, Tobey Maguire's it. He's the only like super powered like
Right,
individual, right?
right.
And for some reason, to plant this like world-killing bomb, they go to New York where Spider-Man is, instead
Yeah.
of just going to like literally
Yeah.
any other city.
Yeah, like just
You
go
know?
to Iowa somewhere.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
superheroes there. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
There's no reason to go directly to where the only
Right.
superhero is.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's very true. That's also, something else that came out. I just thought of. Did you see the trailer for the
Oh yeah.
Spider-Verse? The Spider-Verse Beyond the
Oh.
Spider-Verse, I think it
Oh
is.
no, I didn't.
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider. You
No,
didn't
I
see
didn't
that
see
one?
that. I didn't see that
Yeah,
trailer yet.
it was almost like the opening scene of it more than a
Hmm.
trailer. And that comes. I don't think that comes out until next year. But
Yeah, I
that
think
looks
it's.
really good.
I think that comes out between Doomsday and Secret Wars,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, I think you're right. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would describe it, but it's just go watch the trailer. But
yeah.
it's basically the opening. It's basically kind of the end scene from Across the Spider Verse, where
Mhm.
he's face to face with his variant, who's actually Prowler in that universe. In the
Mhm.
universe that his spider, the spider that that bit him, came from. Um, and I guess his uncle is the Shocker instead of being the Prowler. But but yeah, it's basically that scene. Um, but it looks, it goes into a little bit more detail. So it looks like it's probably the opening scene from that movie.
Yeah, I'll have to check that. I
And then
saw
I also
they
saw,
released the trailer for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the
yeah,
second season.
yeah. Am I correct? It looks like they're going to have a Venom
Mhm.
situation going on in that one. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the Venom in a cartoon.
Yeah. I wish that that was connected to the main MCU. Do you remember how that
Yeah,
was supposed to be like the sort of like prelude to
yeah.
MCU Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was supposed to be it was because it was originally going to be called Spider-Man Freshman Year, I think,
Yeah.
which was it was going to be
They said they didn't want to like waste characters that like if he fought them in high school, then like can you bring them back
mm,
into future movies? Like if you had him face up against people in that show,
right.
like how would you bring him back in?
I think they just wanted to be able to run it multiple seasons because if it's freshman year,
Yeah, that's it.
you can only get one season out of that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you go for season two, then what is that? Is it everything that happened, during the
Yeah.
Civil War, the Captain
Yeah.
America Civil War part, you know,
Yeah.
because the first season of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man shows that same scene that happens in Civil War, but it's not Tony Stark. It's Norman Osborn that's
Yeah.
in the apartment wanting to speak to Peter. So
Yeah.
time frame is the same there. So I think that's why they did it. They wouldn't be able to have more than one season of it, and if it was really popular and people liked it, they'd want to continue it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yep. So that's everything that we saw and read from D23. A lot of exciting stuff. MCU just keeps rolling forward. I think people are a little more excited than they were during some of the stuff after Endgame, where they were trying to build the multiverse saga. I think
Hmm.
people are really excited about it again now.
Yeah. Like it's funny that like now it's like it's kind of proving like, hey, RDJ, Chris Evans, and Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
That's all they needed
that's it.
back. You know,
That's it.
they
That's it.
just needed those three again.
If they can just figure out a way to have the three of them stop aging, then
Yeah,
they
they'd be
can just keep
golden.
using them forever. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, let us know. Let us know your thoughts on all of this, and keep checking us out this week for our regular episode tomorrow on Tuesday, and our True Crime Thursday episode on Thursday. And check back here next week for our next Marvel Monday. See what we'll be talking about then.
Bye.